dedicated person. He was very keen to ensure that the institution that he was setting up becomes one of the outstanding institutions in the field of management. Earlier in India itself, we had a close association with setting up the business school at Hyderabad. And it was at that time I was Governor of Andhra Pradesh, and that institution was set up. It's unfortunate that he passed away, early. Had he continued, he would have played a much bigger role in terms of investing this institution with greater credibility. But that is very unfortunate. But I'm happy to note that under the leadership of Prof. Ramanathan, the great traditions set up by Bala are being carried forward. And today mark another important milestone in the history and evolution of this institution. If you look at the roles of institutions of higher education, I see two roles. One is the role of the educational institution as a teaching institution. As a teaching institution, the main function is essentially to disseminate knowledge that has already been gathered and collected. A good teacher can be a good scholar, but not necessarily an innovator. In the past, we have had in India many important people who were very prominent as professors, but not necessarily thought leaders. The two are sometimes different ways of doing intellectual activity. So the first task of a major higher education institution is to disseminate knowledge, distribute the knowledge that is already there, and convey to the students in a way in which
that I'm sitting with the father of the fellow program in management. So it's wonderful to be here, and we are, I guess, the newest baby in terms of fellow programs in management in this country, and I'm truly honored to be here to talk about it. Dr. Rangarajan touched upon, we have believed that the role of an academic institution is basically knowledge dissemination, which is teaching. And we have done that really, really well. Some of our faculty are renowned superstars in terms of teaching. But equally, I think, as he rightly said, the onus of growing knowledge, of building upon a stack of knowledge, about creating new knowledge, falls squarely on the shoulders of faculty at these institutions. And it's very important because in today's day and age, the kind of knowledge that is required by industry is changing every single day. We know what happened during COVID. Every single business model that we had could be questioned and possibly even jettisoned because none of the assumptions we made about business held true. And therefore, if we had simply relied on old knowledge that was created at a time when there was no such pandemic, then all we would be doing is teaching our students knowledge that was not relevant anymore. And therefore, it is extremely important for academia to be at the forefront of creating new knowledge. New knowledge that is cognizant of the fact that any assumption that you make can actually be called into question. And therefore, academia plays a very, very important role, not just in disseminating knowledge, but in creating new knowledge. And I wanted to thank Dr. Rangarajan for bringing that out very, very eloquently.
Let me just add one thing, which is, next 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, with the advent of AI, we don't know how far each domain is going to change. I'm sure as journalists, your domain has already changed quite a bit, and so that will happen in marketing as well. And that means we need to build definitely a resilient research community which can co-shape and co-create going ahead with the help of artificial intelligence, but maintaining the human intelligence and co-shape the world. So in that context, as you heard, we are starting FPM in marketing to begin with. We will have 3 streams within the broad area of marketing. One will be consumer behavior, one will be marketing strategy, and the third one will be quantitative marketing. It is a 5-year program, out of which first 2 years they will be dedicated to the coursework. As both the previous speakers have emphasized, it's very important that the students have knowledge in much broader areas or disciplines which will complement their marketing research. So that means they must understand principles of economics, they need to understand psychology, they need to understand statistics, quantitative methods, broader research methods including qualitative research. So that coursework will be mandatory for every research fellow. But in addition, the FPM fellows who will take a consumer behavior track will do specialized advanced courses related to consumer behavior. So they may be social psychology, social cognition. Those who take quantitative marketing may do advanced econometrics, and all the courses will be taught by very specialized experts within Great Lakes, or of course domestically, from other institutions, or as Dean mentioned, from abroad as well. We will also ensure that they start on the research, thinking about research from the very beginning. So that means our fellows will do research paper at the end of year 1, they have to complete 1 paper, and at the end of year 2, they will have to complete their 2nd paper. So that means from very start, they get some training. We will also equip them with how to articulate their research, because that's equally important. We can be, there are many people who do great research, but writing well and communicating well is extremely important, so we'll give training in that. And so they should be able to complete 2 research papers at the end of their 2 years coursework. Post that, as many of us here who have done PhDs will tell you that one of the most important decision during a PhD is finalizing your advisor. Because your doctorate advisor is extremely important. You have to work with the person for the next 3 years, and some of us work lifelong after that as well, writing papers, and that means you must have a sufficient pool of faculty from whom our